I am extremely terrified of ketchup. But more on that later. Irrational fears or phobias. I'm way too familiar with this. Anything that realistically can't hurt you, but even just the thought of it makes you shiver your timbers. These irrational phobias come in a wide range of types. It's like autism, a spectrum. Over here we have the more sane phobias that are somewhat grounded in reality, like a phobia for snakes or whatever. And the further along we go, the weirder the phobias. And here's me. Why do we have these irrational fears? Where do they come from? And will One Direction ever reunite? Oh man. So pop that Mountain Dew and follow me as we take a look at some of these irrational and sometimes weird phobias. Let's start with the pretty normal end of this spectrum. Spiders! Vile creatures scary enough to make even the manliest of men jump around like they're in a DDR competition. Probably one of the most common irrational phobias. And irrational is in air quotes since it is technically possible to die or at least get seriously injured from a bite. If you got bitten by like 20 spiders at once. But I do get the fear. I mean, look at this shit. They're freaky, hairy, long legs, and they just have that murderous Kardashian stare. I also learned spiders don't even have muscles. They move using something similar to hydraulic pressure, making them even more unnatural. They're basically a small 8-armed excavator. Moving along from spiders, some other fairly common phobias. We have fear of heights, fear of flying, fear of the dark, and claustrophobia. All of these are basic irrational fears. They're all very common, they're accepted as normal. You know, if someone told you they were scared of the dark, you wouldn't think they were fucking crazy or anything. All of them are also very logical. There's a real element of danger, like you understand why someone is scared of heights. Alright, let's move up the spectrum a bit. These next phobias are still somewhat common and accepted, but they're not as logical. Like a fear of clowns. We've all probably heard of someone being afraid of clowns, but it's not any real threat or actual danger. The clown won't fucking eat your family. The worst thing they will do is probably just make you question the very fabric of our reality. Huh. Oh, okay. And another one. And another. How many are there? Okay, this is getting too many. What the fuck is going on right now? How do they all fit in this car? That fucking stereotypic clown trick with the car doesn't even make any sense, by the way. It's like, imagine you see 10 people walk out of a relatively small vehicle. Wow. I totally thought there would be at least 3 people less. Now, in the same category as clowns, we also have dentists. I personally never understood this one. But once again, I am afraid of ketchup, so I guess I'm not in a position to judge. I mean, the clowns, I kinda get it. They look weird. Funnily enough, the same argument racist people use. But dentists are just not scary. I don't know how to say it other than that. The like scariest thing about a dentist is that awkward moment when your eyes meet while they have their hand halfway down your throat. Alright, so we're just gonna take a little look here. Ah, fuck dude, what are you doing? Oh, I'm sorry. Did I hurt you? No, just continue. Just continue. Okay, that was pretty weird. Just hope it doesn't do that again. Dude, what the fuck? Now obviously, the further along this spectrum we move, the weirder these phobias get. So far, you've probably heard of all the phobias I've mentioned. But now we're going deeper into the phobia jungle. So unknown and unexplored, not even Dora the Explorer would set foot here. I'm gonna be honest, the rest of these phobias we're gonna talk about are all really weird, and turns out it was kinda hard to group them in order of weirdness. So I'm just gonna go through this list in no particular order. We have bathmophobia, which is not a fear of bathing. Huh, fear of bathing? What is this, an anime convention? Bathmophobia is a fear of stairs. Ooh, spooky. No, I'm gonna be serious for once. Bathmophobia is actually one of the most sane phobias. I mean, think about it. Stairs are the second leading cause behind injuries. And it's always the old people. I don't know what it is, but for some reason, as soon as you turn 75, that stairwell in your home starts looking more and more like a Toys R Us slip and slide. We need government-run, mandatory stair traumatization programs to make sure our people are more afraid of stairs. Also, permanent every night inspection of stairs. We need There is a lot on this list of phobias that just doesn't really make any sense whatsoever. Like here, koinoniphobia, which is a fear of rooms. What the fuck? How would that even work? Like, you can't not be in a room. Okay, obviously I do understand it's more about the act of going into a room that is scary. You don't know what is going to be in that room and so on. But look right here. Look right here. Koinonophobia is a fear of rooms or people in rooms. See that all right there? That means there are some people that are simply scared of rooms, period. And look at this, look at this. How is koinoniphobia diagnosed? Healthcare providers diagnose koinoniphobia by asking about your symptoms and behaviors. How does being in a room make you feel? How often do you think about being in a room? Dude, how often do you think about being in a room? Or do some people just sit there and think, man, I'm in a room right now. Oh no. There is a specific phobia for peanut butter on here. How that is common enough to have its own name as a phobia, I don't know. A fear of knees, just knees. Fear of gravity, fear of air, fear of phobias, fear of large things. Well, then you should be afraid of me because of my big fat pelvis. You thought I was gonna say penis. Fear of speed. If you have this phobia, Pixar's Cars turns into a horror movie.
Okay, here we go. Focus. Speed. I am speed.
Fear of small things. This time it is my penis. Fear of the color black. And of course, the classic hippopotamonstrosesquipedaliophobia, which is, funnily enough, the fear of long words. Okay, I'm done dogging on other people's phobias now. Let's get into the real meat of this video. The real reason you're still around. Don't lie to me now. My fear of ketchup. The first thing you probably think when I say I'm afraid of ketchup is, damn, this guy is weird. And yes, I am. Now of course I'm not like afraid the ketchup will attack me or anything. I am not shaking in my boots thinking there's a ketchup bottle hiding under my desk. Or that at all times during the day, somewhere, there's a ketchup bottle staring at me. Although the image of that is kind of funny. It's more like a disgust thing. But not in the same way someone is disgusted by maybe broccoli, where they will just not eat it. Okay, I'll explain it like this. If I want to grab a piece of candy from the fridge, but randomly, don't ask how, there's a bottle of ketchup in front of it, I would just not eat the candy. Just touching the bottle makes me feel like gagging and I need to properly wash my hands. Living with this fear is by far the worst thing that have ever happened to me. Not because it's hard to avoid, that's simple. I just need to not have a bottle of ketchup in my home and I'm set. You know, I'm good. The worst part of this is actually my friends. Because every single time I tell someone I have this phobia, they want to prove it. They immediately start the most intense search of their life, clearing the fridge, lifting sofas, checking my mother's ass crack to find the nearest ketchup bottle and test it out. Can you imagine telling someone you're afraid of snakes and the very first thing they do is run outside and start looking through the bushes for snakes to scare you with? I've been chased around by people bearing ketchup bottles my entire life. And that is not a joke. You want to know what it feels like being the most wanted man in America? Try hiding from someone who really want to scare you with a ketchup bottle. They will come in, guns blazing, night vision if needed, and track you down. Now you might be wondering, how the fuck does this happen? How do you get a ketchup phobia? Well, it's simple. Childhood trauma. When I was around kindergarten age, I was a very picky eater.
I cannot do this any fucking more!
I remember I used to not like condiments, or any type of sauce for that matter. For perspective, my McDonald's order used to be a Big Mac, but remove everything that makes it a Big Mac. So it's just bread, meat, and cheese. Looking back, I don't understand how the fuck I ate that. That must have been dry as fuck. But one day, I was at kindergarten, eating lunch. And obviously, we had meatballs because Swedish. Dunga dunga meatball. While pretty much every other kid would have ketchup with their meatballs, I didn't. So my teacher asked me one simple question. Why? I just said I didn't like it, even though I never tried it. I just kinda knew. But she believed in the good old words, don't knock it till you try it. So this teacher, I didn't fucking like her, mega bitch, she took my plate without asking, put ketchup on my meatballs, and forced me to eat it. Despite me literally crying and saying I didn't want to, she force-fed me ketchup until I threw up. And after that moment, I never wanted to try ketchup again. In fact, I get so disgusted just seeing a ketchup bottle, I have to take a few steps back. So, there you have it. My traumatic incident. Move aside, World War II veterans. I was traumatized by ketchup. Nah, seriously, looking back at a thing like that, it's fucking silly, I'll admit it, but I'm still afraid of ketchup. That will never change. It's kind of funny how a so seemingly small and insignificant thing, like being forced to try ketchup as a kid, can really just mess you up for the rest of your life. You know, I actually have an extra surprise for you all. A little bit of a bonus phobia. Yeah, I actually have another phobia. I don't know if it counts as a phobia, but fuck it, this is my video, I do what I want. Have you ever, been afraid that someone can read your mind? Because I do that all the fucking time. And like, not to a normal extent either. Like, I guess a normal amount is like people just think, oh fuck, what if someone can read my thoughts right now? Huh, that would be weird. And that's not what I do. No, I like actually just start like forcefully thinking good things. Let me just give you an example. Sometimes my mind wanders a bit. I might see someone who's a little bit overweight and instantly my inner dialogue is just like, fat bitch. But it's not like I actually want to think that. It's just like an elephant in the room. Like I can't not think it. But like, I don't want to think negative thoughts about other people. And so instantly I just get scared and like, fuck, what if they can read my mind? And I get so scared that I instantly start just thinking anything else. Usually I just start like humming on a song. Or I just start reciting the hardest Yo Mama jokes from 2012. And it's like, it's kind of funny because if they were actually able to read my mind, I would just look like a fucking lunatic. Fat bitch. Fuck, Yo Mama. Bound in the USA. Yeah, so that was a little bit of a bonus phobia, I guess. Comment down below if you do the same shit. I don't think anyone does. I think it's just me, honestly. I can't think of anyone else who would fucking do this stupid shit. We've now almost reached the end of this video, but we still haven't really answered my original questions. And will One Direction ever reunite? No, not that one. Why do we have these irrational fears? Where do they come from? Good question, me. Well, let's start with why we have these irrational phobias. Fear. Oh no. A very crucial part of our survival. When we're faced with danger, let's say a bear, fear forces us to stay away from it. Now the body is a very complex machine. And sometimes shit happens. Your brain might associate ketchup, in my example, with overwhelming negative emotion and just not a fun time. Now your brain doesn't want to experience that again, and so it makes us afraid in the future. And next thing you know, you have a panic attack every time you touch a ketchup bottle. As I said, shit happens. Weird irrational phobias are actually just your brain doing an oopsie and categorizing something mundane, like ketchup, as something way more dangerous than it actually is. But how does this happen? Well, in my case, it was trauma. A really horrible experience that caused me a lot of distress. And yes, I do realize labeling being forced to eat ketchup when I really didn't want to as a traumatic event that caused a lot of distress sounds really goofy, but that's what it is. And many phobias spawn from the same place. One or multiple negative experiences with a thing or situation can cause a phobia. Like if you have a fear of knees, it might be because you had a horrible injury and now just seeing a knee can make you remember that terrible experience, triggering fear of it perhaps happening again. Phobias can also be learned directly from parents or other people in your life. If your dad, for example, is really afraid of dogs, you might see how he reacts to a dog and then learn to also react in the same way yourself. Even just hearing about bad experiences can lead to a phobia. Like how I, as a kid, was extremely terrified of the Bermuda Triangle from all the scary stories I heard. There are also a lot of other small factors like genetics and other stuff that goes into the science of phobias, but I pretty much covered all the important stuff. And with that said, next time you see me, don't bring a ketchup bottle.